going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Project Manga Podcast, where we cover One Piece, My Hero, Black Clover, Mashle, Dr. Stone, and Jujutsu Kaisen week to week. Back this week covering Weekly Shonen Jump issue number 30. I'm your host, Eagle.
I'm Knox.
And I'm Nickums.
And as always, before we get started, we would ask that you take a look in that description box down below where you can find links to any and all of our individual social media accounts, such as Twitter, online communities like Discord, links to wherever you would like to listen to the podcast, any platform you normally would. Also, ways to support the podcast through checking out our online shop or our Patreon, as well as timestamps that you can use to conveniently navigate yourself through the video and avoid spoilers if you need to. Also, like the goddamn video, subscribe to the channel. We come out with fire content week to week.
Oh, yeah.
Now, with those words said, what a fire week in Jump. I think we should just jump right into it.
All bangers. Yes, sir.
Chapter 202 of Dr. Stone, Ryusui Corp.
Yeah. Loved this chapter. Super feels.
I love Ryusui chapters, man.
Yes.
Ryusui centric chapters.
Yes.
Even though he is kind of like, I don't know, the way he just wants and desires everything. It's like, it is kind of annoying, and he is in a way the type of person that I don't like.
Oh, sure.
You know, gluttonous in a way, but like at the same time, you got to fuck with the boy.
Yeah, you can't help when he's on the screen. Like, it's just nothing but hype. He's like, I feel like he kind of like channels the shonen MC in the like the traditional shonen MC, at least in my opinion. Like, since Senku, you know, obviously isn't really your typical shonen MC, and like we kind of thought in the beginning of the series that Taiju was the main character for like half of the first episode or chapter or whatever, you know what I mean?
Right.
And he kind of like really felt like one, and then obviously he's relegated to whatever he's doing, but you know, Ryusui really feels like that to me, you know, in the story. So gotta love that. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I can't believe they're so hyped over olive oil. I mean, I get it, right? You know, we all love olive oil, but like, what a misdirection, right? Like, fluorite. We're gonna get fluorite. I'm going to Spain. Olive oil. Fuck yeah, ready for it.
I was like, are they gonna use this for like some kind of like, you know, not expected, you know, application of olive oil? And no, they're just cooking with it. And I'm like, fuck yeah, anyway, you know, because this Agilo looks fucking fire. I like looked that up on Google after I saw this beautiful like drawing of this food, and I was like, I'm about to get a recipe for that. Hold on.
Right.
On this one on page 8.
Yeah.
The seafood plate looks fire.
Super good. Fire. Even that octopus tentacle, I'll smash this whole plate, bro.
Yeah. I mean, if it's cooked octopus or calamari, like I will definitely eat it. But like, man, when they just be banging down them live ones, like, that's crazy. Like, it's literally fighting for its life, trying to drag itself up out of your
I usually don't think those are real.
Plugging it down with the
I have a hard time believing those. I've seen that like on Twitter, and I'm just like, holy shit, how can you do that?
That's real. That's real.
That's wild.
I mean, even fresh like raw octopus isn't bad. I had some octopus in a cold salad in the Caribbean one time. It was decent, but yeah.
That sounds crazy.
This cooked seafood play was kind of crazy.
Yeah, and I love how well. I mean, that's a little bit ahead, going back a little bit to them making the the centrifuge. This was cool because I didn't know the process of like creating olive oil or whatever, but it makes sense that you have to like, you know, separate shit with the spinny doodad or whatever. And but like Kaseki, this panel is like so Centra what? You mean the spin machine? Tink tink tink. Here you go, like all on one panel. I'm just like
Frankie.
Yeah. I was gonna say it reminds me a lot of Frankie, dude. And I was like, I love Kaseki.
Right. Hell yeah, Kaseki is the shit.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah, very cool to see like, you know, olive trees, you know, making the olive oil. Very cool. And I love that they like immediately, like the first thing they say, right? Like, let's put up a camp. Let's get food and supplies and stuff, right? Like, we're going to need to anyway. Yeah. And I didn't think they were going to immediately revive people, but they did. Like page 9, they're already reviving people. Check it out. We revived you, and here is your local cuisine.
Right.
Not even just a feast, your local cuisine feast, right? Like, think of how different it is, right? You've been asleep thousands of years. You're just waking up for the first time. Maybe you'd be given like, you know, protein bars and like energy bars or whatever. Like, let's keep you alive. Here's some shitty food, right? Rations or whatever. No. Here's a whole feast of all the things you know. Your whole culture is gone now, right? But like, we at least are trying to help bring it back with this meal. You know what I mean? And they respect that a fuck ton.
Yeah, this was a huge like moment like for Francois's character for me, because like I was like, this is like she was just so like right away, like, okay, we're in another culture's area. You know what I mean? I studied some Spanish or whatever the last time that I was at whatever location. South America. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, just in Super Alloy City, yeah.
Yeah, just, yep. And then the quote here is like, I received basic instruction from those we revived in South America. I'm still lacking, but earning the trust of international guests means showing respect to the local culture. Like that was like a really like cool line of dialogue, you know what I mean? And I like when, because I'm thinking like, with Senku being who he is in this story, I always think about like just exactly what he is capable of, because it seems like he can do like pretty much and think of pretty much anything besides like things that require the gorilla team. You know what I mean? Like anything that requires like big amounts of strength, that's them. But then pretty much anything outside of that, I feel like Senku could do a lot of other things that like some other characters do. But like, would Senku like think of this? You know what I mean? And whenever, you know, whenever it, you know, a character kind of like shines in their area of expertise in a way where I can't even like picture like Senku like coming up with an idea like that, it really makes them kind of like shine through, I feel like, to me, because because he is so capable. You know what I mean? So I just love these kind of spotlights. Yeah.
Yep. 100%.
Most definitely.
And then speaking of like Shonen MC Ryusui, like this bull scene, can you believe this fucking like, I'm just gonna be a matador, I'm gonna trick the bull first try or whatever. Oh, done.
Yeah. And they're like, we didn't know you were a matador, Ryusui. And he was like, not really, but you know, I just got guts, you know what I mean? And I play a lot of video games, so I just kind of, you know, jumped in because I'm that kind of guy. And it's just like, dude, you're the best. What the fuck? I want to be your friend in real life.
Something cute.
Pro gamer training.
Pro gamer training. Yeah.
Dudes are crazy.
I always say something cute on this page, right? On page 13, we see Suika like milking this cow, right? And here's another like weird, like comical sound effect. The milk sound effect in here is gyu-nyu, right? Like just the word milk. Gyu-nyu, gyu-nyu. That's not actually like a sound effect for milk, as far as I'm aware, right? Like that's just the word milk.
Yeah. Goon-yu.
Ginyu.
Yeah, for milk. And that just reminded me of all the original Dragon Ball Z Budokai games, Captain Ginyu. All of his attacks are like named after, or like Milky Cannon, you know what I mean? Because of that like pun or whatever. Just remembered that. Hilarious.
Yeah. Churros. Ooh.
Churros, bro. When I turned the page and saw churros, I got so hungry again. Like this chapter just has such good looking food in it.
Yeah, these churros look prime.
Right. I just want to bite it.
And then we got some hard currency here. You know, we got the coins.
This is tight.
I like the $10,000 coin with Senku on that.
Yes.
I like the Chrome coin too. Suika is the second most valuable coin I like.
Yeah, I love that. I loved that.
I like that they're all the engineering science, you know, track people, right? Like, you know, Kaseki, Chrome, Suika, and Senku, right? It's not like Ryusui put his face on this or whatever. It's not like he put you know, Tsukasa's face on here. It's the science. This is the science kingdom, right? So like here's our monuments to our culture. And I agree, like Suika being above Chrome, I mean, she 100% by herself like saved humanity single-handedly, right? With just a piece of paper and guts, you know what I mean, and years. So it's like, I think she earned the number 2 spot in the science team.
Because Senku was the one who did it first single-handedly by himself in the beginning of the series. And then the next time that humanity was saved was literally just by Sweet. So it makes sense that since they
are we gonna get Chrome doing it as well then?
So they're all gonna get
at a future time where they all get frozen again.
I don't know how it'd feel if everyone on the planet was petrified again. You know what I mean? Like that would be kind of awkward, I want to say, but I'm sure Chrome is gonna get like at the end of this comic. I feel like Chrome is going to have like the most significant feat. Yeah. I feel like 100%. He's going to do something drastic. Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait for that moment. So, question that I had is, so do you guys think that Ryusui, you know, decided whose faces were going to be on these coins?
Yeah, probably.
That's really cool because you know what I mean. Like considering he is obviously very calculating in how he wants to run this currency, and everyone always thinks he's being sketchy about it, and he obviously has the personality that he has. It's really cool. I feel like it's a very subtle, you know, character point, you know, for him that he didn't put his face on one of these coins, even though it's his currency. You know what I mean? So unspoken shit like that is like, I feel like you get a lot of that in Dr. Stone.
Right.
We move right into this moment with. Oh, go ahead, Nick. What were you gonna say?
Yeah, I would say one more thing about the coins, because I think this is a really good point you bring up, Knox. That like, if he put his own face on it, people would be more skeptical of it, right? Like portraying himself as a king, as the leader, right? But even more so, putting Senku and everyone else on here, like they're all pretty chill people, pretty humble people, right? They're not going to say, no, take my face off there. I don't even believe in money anyway. You know what I mean? Like, don't tie me to this. But because their faces are on there, it almost is like a implicit, like, yeah, they are endorsing the money, right? Senku's face is on it. It's got to be good money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like super alloys, like all super alloys. They're like, no one on the planet will be able to make counterfeits. You know what I mean?
Ooh, yeah.
Because they don't have the technology to make super alloys like Team Science does.
Yeah.
I think all around these are just like really cool ideas.
Yeah.
Ferronickel, ferrochrome, ferromel. What is that one?
Molybdenum.
Molybdenum.
Say that 3 times fast. What the fuck?
Ferroneobium.
Ferroneobium. There we go.
Neobium.
That's tight. These are crazy. These are crazy words, bro.
But yeah, then we move right into this this moment with these old folks, these cats that are like, man, you guys are some upstanding youngsters. Like in this new world, you've used incredible science to get a head start, but you don't presume to rule over us, which I thought was a fire quote, and like it's a fact.
Yeah.
I've always thought that was a dope thing about the story and Senku, that he's not trying to rule over people. He's just trying to save the world,
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
I got chills when I turned the page, because like that is such a good quote, right? Like, you don't presume to rule over us. And it's like, yeah, like that's probably the greatest thing in the world, that what they just witnessed. They were just woken up from however long they were petrified. And the first thing they see is a bunch of wholesome people with their own, culture's cuisine in front of them. And they're just chill ass people, you know what I mean? So you can assume that a lot of people would probably try to say, yo, I woke you up. You work for me now. You know what I mean? Like 100%. Most people would probably be like that. And sure, you could probably get people to submit to you and comply with your will in that situation. But I mean, like, what kind of kingdom is that? You know what I mean? Like, these people are willingly going, dude, we love you guys. Thank you. We will work for you. You know what I mean? Like, this is obviously the best way to go about this. You know what I mean?
Yep. 100%.
Yeah.
And this kneeling double spread.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. Very powerful. Very powerful.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy. Oh man, I want to go back to the Matador scene.
Oh sure.
Because I just love the panel of Francois just like eyes closed, like smiling, like, here you go. You know what I mean? Like, there's such a good duo that it's just like unspoken, like, yep, boom, there's your cape. You know what I mean? Like, that was just such a cool sequence in the art.
No, I love that.
Yeah.
Great spot.
Yeah, and then the perspective on page 12 when he's like up close with the cape drawn really tight, and then it shows him like in the back, further back, doing the motion against the bull.
Right.
Yeah.
So fire.
So good.
Boy Chi snapping as always with the art.
As always, dude. As always. Like I have to just sit and stare at this kneeling like panel. You know what I mean? It's just like the drawing is just like so, like the perspective of like kind of like looking up at them while everyone is still kind of like kneeling. So like you kind of like see from the kneeler's perspective the people that they're kneeling to. You know what I mean? It's just such a great drawing.
100%.
Yeah.
And this like judo move, man, at the end of the chapter, like, hey, we're just cool guys. We here to revive your culture, give you some good food. We're not trying to rule you or anything. I mean, yeah, if you're trying to work, like, I'll pay you. We got new coins and everything, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're trying to work? Awesome. Fluorite. Give me the fluorite. I'll point you to where it is.
Yes.
Get digging.
So it was the long con.
It was the long con. Like, you're gonna fall in love with us because we're wholesome and we're being really cool. But then at the end of the day, like, my goal the whole time was to put you to work to get me fluorite. So love that.
And think about traditional, like, say, Gurren Lagann, or like, there's so many manga, so many stories that begin in a mine town. Everyone in this town is a slave. Everyone's mining for some, big boss or whatever, right? Like that's like Orient, you know what I mean? Like so many stories start there, and they're avoiding it here. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, we're not even gonna go into that mining, slave, overseer kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, like work with the people there and let them dig at their own volition. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
wow, very well done.
I wonder how different this would be if like Zeno and Stanley's people, like got here to make olive oil for whatever reason and looking for fluorite, how they would kind of like run this exact same situation on their side, you know what I mean? And half of me wants to say it's obvious that they would just do it the exact opposite way and say, you work for us now, we just woke you up, you can't say shit to us, we're your saviors. You know what I mean? Like, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know, I feel like we understand those characters like so well now that it could potentially like go similarly to this, you know what I mean? Like if Zeno was the main character for this stretch of storytelling, I don't know, I feel like it's like a 50-50 chance, you know what I mean? And that's really cool to feel that, inside of antagonists.
For sure.
Well, did you guys have anything else for Dr. Stone?
I think I'm good.
No, I think I'm good as well.
Well, with that, I think we can go ahead and move right into chapter 68 of Mashle, Wahlberg, Bygone, and the Magic of Darkness. I like this title.
Yes.
I like this title. I like everything about this chapter. This chapter was so amazing. This was a great showing of Wahlberg's capabilities, especially with the dialogue inside of this arrogant puppet master, really hyping up his magic so that when we get these page turns into Wahlberg flexing, I was like, holy shit, because I didn't think that he had a reason to lie or be wrong about what he was saying. He was like, what is this line of dialogue here? He says, the ability to send anything it touches to the void. You can't repel dark magic with any other type of spell.
Yeah.
Right. I was like, oh no, Wahlberg, bro.
Out of there.
Oh, holy shit. Dude, this dark snake art. What the fuck?
This dark snake art is crazy.
Son.
It looks so good on top of the crisp, like manga art.
Yeah.
This like pencil shading type of art or whatever, like this charcoal. Like, wow, it looks so good.
I don't think I know of too many times I've seen this illustration technique used. Period. Right. Like I don't ever see this anywhere.
This is like art you see in Berserk.
For the snake, something like that,
Just like that type of like shading and like charcoaly, like Nick was saying. Look, I don't know.
It does kind of feel like it comes from an older generation, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a good point.
Yo. Yeah, it looks fantastic in here though, for sure.
And we're getting it like, okay, so on page 6 in the middle, it's like that same kind of art because that's like, still the snake energy, right?
Yeah.
Just from like a
still
different...
dark energy or
a dark energy. Oh, okay, so maybe all dark energy kind of has this effect, and this is just the way that it's kind of manifesting right now inside of these snake attacks.
Yeah, I think so. Like if you go to 12, and of course that's also no, it's not. It's Dark Impact Absol. So like that's kind of still like the smoky, not as charcoaly looking, but still somewhat smoky. And then also like 14 with Dark Tremendous. Like it's all this smoky, particulate looking.
It seems like the more potent the attack, the more stark blacks you get to really drive that darkness point home.
Sure. Yes. Okay. I can see that,
Yeah, because, we can assume, he sent one snake, then 2 snakes, then, you know what I mean? And it seems to kind of just be getting darker as it goes.
Right.
Which is cool. If that was like a thought of, like, point, like, that's really tight.
Yeah. But yeah, the fact that we just get this entire Wahlberg chapter after this conflict has been hyped up these past few weeks, we've been wanting it. The fact that we get an entire Wahlberg devoted chapter is just so satisfying,
and it's right on time too. You know what I mean? Like obviously, it makes sense for the conflict that they're kind of experiencing right now, and Wahlberg is there. You know what I mean? But it's like I was thinking, like, man, we got to be seeing what he can do pretty soon here. Like even before this arc, you know what I mean? I was like, I want to see Wahlberg. I think we were saying it in these reviews. Like, when is Wahlberg going to turn up? Because we always had to reference him because he's a point of. Like he's kind of like a yardstick, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like in regards to like magic capabilities, because we saw, I think his magic is like the only one that MASH so far has not been able to just overpower. You know what I mean?
Sure.
With like all the way in like chapter like 2, 3, 4, like in the very early, like less than 10, when Mash is like talking to him or whatever, and he puts that crazy elaborate like apparatus spell.
Thing,
yeah, like I don't even remember what that was, but it was like some wild machine thing. And Mash was like, I can't do anything at all. You know what I mean? And it's like ever since then, all of the opponents that have kind of come up so far, it's like Mash just, and it's like, but it couldn't do that to Wahlberg, and now it's like,
right.
I gotta see that shit and how here it is, so.
Yeah,
this is crazy.
With the yardstick, like we get a literal number. He's the number one.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Where it was before you didn't know, right? This
Right.
I think the first time we're hearing this is the number one magic user in the world. Very cool. We get his whole name. I kind of assumed Wahlberg was his last name. You know what I mean?
Oh,
but
right. Yeah.
probably isn't. Wahlberg Bygone. That's pretty cool.
Hell yeah.
And then like his magic type.
Yes.
We did not know his magic type before, and now we kind of get confirmation that it's spatial magic, right?
Which is really cool for Mashle, because like if you go over to Black Clover and you see that like the Wizard King of Black Clover is a time mage, you know what I mean? It's like really cool that like you just kind of like go on the opposite side or complementary side of that spectrum and go into space for Mashle's Wizard King, you know what I mean? So like that's super tight, equally as broken, clearly, you know what I mean? And we even get a line of dialogue. This villain's like, what the fuck is with this broken ass magic, bro?
How can this broken magic of his have such range? Oh my god.
So here's a question. So like, okay, so now that I'm thinking about it, so like that scene where Mash is like kind of like confronting Wahlberg in the beginning of the series, what the hell was that spell then?
I don't know. Yeah.
Was that just some
Maybe
like,
that was like Kronos?
Oh shit. Well, maybe it was just like a really high level spell that anyone can learn, but like
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because you have like base level spells, right? And then you have like spells specific to your magic affinity, and then obviously you go into Master Cane stuff, which is its own echelon or whatever. But I'm thinking that since space. Well, actually, no, because no, it's space regardless, because he has space with the wand. He has space attacks with the wand, and then he makes a comment. He's like, everything I've been doing so far is with the wand. You want me to cast a real spell? Rah! And then like it's still a space attack. You know what I mean? So yeah, I want to say that whatever he hit Mash with in the beginning of the series was just like a super high level common, or not common, but like anyone can learn spell if they're that competent or adequate or capable, and they've gotten that far in their training or whatever.
Yep. Just like the magic that summoned Adam Jobs, right? The former number one guy, right? Like Wahlberg commented, this is like 2 or 3 chapters ago, oh, that spell is banned or, illegal or something, right? Like implying that it's not like this dude's magic type is illegal, like that spell that anyone could have learned this spell, but it's illegal or banned or whatever to learn it. So there are general anyone can learn spells, as we've seen. I think Nalgos or something was a Nalcos kind of a Expelliarmus or like kind of just a little blast of energy kind of attack that seems anyone can do.
Oh yeah, like what Margaret was like kind of hitting Mash with at the beginning of their fight. Yeah,
exactly. Yep.
Hell yeah, man. That shit. This shit is wild, bro. He fucking serves this dude. Low diff, bro. Like he should. And like this is crazy because like they built it up with this Adam Jobs guy. You know what I mean? And it's like this dude was way stronger than was the strongest when he was alive. You know what I mean? Like how did Wahlberg eclipse this motherfucker so drastically? And I'm sitting here thinking, okay, so does that mean that he like is there a flaw in this spell to where you don't get like the full potential of capability from the one you're controlling? You know what I mean? But then his dialogue kind of implies that like you do. You know what I mean? Like that he's like, yo, I have control of Adam Jobs. And he was the strongest. So, like, if he's saying that, then that means that at least he believes that this is the real full power Adam Jobs. You know what I mean? And maybe that human, like, sentient element is missing, and that's kind of like the the gap bridger. You know what I mean? Like, he's literally a puppet. So, like, you control him. So, you are kind of the reason why you're losing right now because you're not actually Adam Jobs. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Could be.
But I do agree with you though that like. He's implying to me that this is, at least in, say, if this puppet guy was completely focused and doing like a spell and saying, do this spell at maximum power, puppet or whatever, it would be a spell at maximum power. And implying that, like, damn, I mean, like, Wahlberg just must have leveled up this much since Adam Jobs died, right? Like, I think that's tight as hell.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
fuck yeah.
Yeah. But this page 10 panel where he uses the spatial magic to like swipe away Buddy's arm and his
Yes.
legs and his wand and shit, like that was so major.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
the
I was like,
explanation that he
"Oh,
has, he's
shit."
like, "Hey, don't worry, my magic controls space." You know what I'm saying? Like, I only sent parts of your body a short distance away, and I'm like, "Holy shit, law type beat, Trafalgar
Or a
Law
shoot.
type shit."
Shoot.
Oh,
Like
shoot!
knuckle and shoot.
Oh
Yeah, shoot.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, nice.
He said, "Ooh."
Didn't think about that. I love the Hunter x Hunter ideas,
Yeah.
dude. Like whenever
Yeah.
I can feel them in manga, I get so excited.
Mhm.
Holy shit. This is
But yeah,
crazy.
this-
I wonder how much more we're going to see of Wahlberg before he inevitably loses to Innocent Zero. Because, like, I mean, like, you know,
Feel
I don't.
confident now, right? Like,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
good showing here. It's just like another setup for the fall. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like,
Oh, man. We're getting that fall panel, bro. Like, Mash is gonna be
No.
like, all right. He's gonna be like, all right, I whooped Cell War. We got all these symbiotes out of here, or these Nomus or whatever. We're good, right? Dude, it's just like Mash. You know, like I can just see it. Like, oh,
Y'all still
shit.
think that's happening?
Fuck yeah.
I do. Yeah.
As
I
much
don't
as
want
I
it to
don't
happen,
want
though.
it to happen,
Yeah.
like I can definitely see it happening. Absolutely.
Mhm.
I can see it happening, but this chapter made me think it'll happen less, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Wahlberg is
yeah, I
hooping
don't
right
know.
now. Oh
Wahlberg
yeah.
is flexing.
Mhm.
But that's what I mean, right? Because like now we've seen the extent of his power,
Right.
Now we have the yardstick. Now we
Mhm.
know, yeah, Wahlberg is the number one. He's so good.
Yeah.
It would just hit so hard to have him lose here, right?
Absolutely.
As it's kind of set up, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
have Innocent Zero beat him and retreat, kind of thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Maybe you can take Mash, start a whole other arc. But I
Right.
totally, I don't know, like
Yeah.
So,
what else will Wahlberg do? you
Right,
know?
because
it
it's like
seems like what else will this Innocent Zero dude do? Because he's kind of pulled out all the stops here.
well,
No, he's not even fighting.
he hasn't even
Lackey's
done
fighting.
anything. This is his little guy. You know what I mean? Like this is his like
Little
henchman.
guy.
Yeah, dude, look at how confident he is at the end of this. This motherfucker just hit this, what is it, space sacrifice? And
Mhm.
just like just evaporated everything in his
he
path.
he is smiling. He's like, "You haven't declined in the slightest, Wahlberg."
Yeah,
but
he's like, bro, he's about to turn the fuck up, dude. Because also, it's like, why would Wahlberg win here? Otherwise, like, why did the Innocent Zero even come here and do all this if Wahlberg's just gonna pack him up and then be
Yeah.
like, all right, we're good, guys? Like, no, like that's so like anticlimactic. And I don't want to say that it has to happen a certain way.
Right,
Wahlberg can
right.
definitely just dust this motherfucker, and Komoto will write some cool shit, you know, for the
Mm-hmm.
continuation of the plot, and then we'll just be there for that ride. But at least for the setup right now, it's feeling a lot like, okay, Wahlberg is number one, confirmation dialogue in the chapter. Innocent Zero kills him or beats him, unseats him from that number one spot, and now the bad guy of the series is the number one wizard. So it's
Yep.
like that makes a lot of sense to me.
Mhm.
Yep.
But I don't
We'll
want
see,
Wahlberg
though.
to lose.
Yeah. Great character and just so cool. Yeah, we really needed this chapter.
We really did, and
really
this is
enjoyed
like
it.
so appropriate for at least my expectations of Wahlberg. I was like, whenever Wahlberg finally goes all out, it's gonna be a sight to behold. You know what I mean? It's gonna be some
Mhm.
other shit, and it definitely like this is some of the best art in the entire series in
Yes.
this chapter. You know what I mean? So it's like you need to give Wahlberg that. Fuck yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, shit. I think that's about all I had for Mashle.
Oh, real quick, last thing. this double page spread on 2 and 3 when he first shoots the dark impact and Wahlberg dodges it and it just evaporates landscape as far as the eye can see. That shit is drastic, bro. Look at that page.
Yep.
The art, like, okay, so the art for this page, I feel like is such a dense combination of like all of the art we've seen in the series so far.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like in one panel, like look at the screen tones on Wahlberg's face going into his hair, wrapping around wrapping around the warping of like and the destruction or whatever, and then you have like that same kind of stipple shading effect inside of like the energy kind of by Wahlberg's face, you know what I mean? It's like very you know, or whatever. And then you have like just literally just like every kind of art that we've ever seen in the fucking manga in one panel. Like that's so awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, all right, yeah.
It's very impressive.
Yeah, that's I had to shout out that panel before the end of the conversation, but yeah.
Hell yeah.
Well, with that, I think we can go ahead and jump right into chapter 297 of Black Clover, The Descent. And we start off with this pretty nice looking color page here with Noelle.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, great
tricked
colors.
out.
Great colors.
Yeah.
I love it
I
as a
love, like-
drawing.
Yeah. I love like how the water effects and everything, right? Like
Yes.
the wings look like you're looking down in an ocean or a lake or something, right? Like a
Yes.
ripple effect.
Mm-hmm.
Or like check out her hair. Her like hair goes as it gets longer, turns into water, right?
Fire.
Starts as hair and then goes into
Oh.
water towards the end, the tips
So
of her hair or
good.
whatever.
Love
So
that.
sick.
Hell
So
yeah.
sick.
And then even the blade of the sword is that water effect on it too.
Mhm.
Hell yeah. And I love it against the I love the white kind of like outer glow. That's
Yep,
just like
yep.
over all of throughout the entire render of Noelle.
Yeah.
And then it's like put in front of this like papyrus scroll
Yeah.
kind of like, you know, paper effect behind it, which I think makes all of the colors pop. This is like
Yep.
some
Really
of
makes
the
colors
best
pop. Yep.
yeah, some of the best coloring I feel like I've seen from Tabata in the
Mhm.
series. So
Yeah.
yeah, loving that.
That teal and orange combo.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And
So good.
we start right off with Vanica, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Stabbed through her shit. And she actually activates and isn't down right away, which,
Yeah.
you know, I guess I'm
I'm
not I
surprised
can't
she
say I'm
like
surprised.
she kills the dragon, right? She kills the sea dragon's roar or whatever.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, which is cool
Like
because it's
that.
like kind of the opposite of what happened in the last fight, right? Because like
Mm.
before, like she was trying to send sea dragons. I wasn't on the last episode either, and I feel like a lot of what I'm saying kind of like comes from the last chapter
Oh, sure.
too. But like inside of the choreography, you know, her sea dragon's roar kind of got beat out by the giant blood stand or whatever that she was
Sure.
that she uses or whatever. And then, you know, this time she kind of like overcomes it or whatever in like the exact same kind of scene. You know what I mean? Like
Sure.
as last time, which is cool.
Yeah, Vanica not out yet. And yeah, some good. I think some
Yeah.
great panels, like great action panels of Noelle just kicking the shit out of her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely on this double spread 4 and 5 as she's like weaving through the blood spears and like kicking her in
Right.
her shit and
Yeah.
Vanica's just like loving life as she's doing it. But yeah, this and especially this page 6 panel where she like hits her like do and then fucking flip kicks her in her
Oh my
shit.
god,
Like,
that was the
Yo.
tightest. That was the tightest
Yo,
part. That was the
for
I was
real.
I remember going through this chapter and I was rather underwhelmed by the chapter, to be honest with you. But I remember when I was going through it for the first time and I turned this page into 6 and 7 into this combo with the backflip here. I was like, okay, that's amazing. Like that was like
Yeah.
the time where I had to just be like, you want to know what, Tabata? You fucking did that, bro.
Yep.
Yeah. And then she's just giving her even more, you know, of a beating. And then we get the double spread here on 8 and 9 where she's
Mhm.
standing over her. I thought was fire.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I like that Vanica on 10 and 11, right? Especially 10, I suppose, is like basically giving an alley-oop here to Noelle. Like, if you want to be a Shonen MC and have me be a rival and be your friend or whatever, like, let's do it. Like, I'll be that weird kooky. I'll be like Vegeta. I'll be that evil rival for forever, right? And Noelle is like, no, fuck you.
I'm about to
going
kill your ass right now.
I'm not saving your life here, girl. No
Yeah,
way. You
yeah.
know, it's like I like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was great.
Yeah.
And she looks like shit. Oh wait, no, because you turn the page and then it's Megicula, whatever,
Mhm,
and they're talking, and that's why Noelle Vanica kind of like looks shook there. I thought when I turned the page and like saw her face, I was like, oh, she's devastated that she doesn't want to like be rivals with her. But no, it's just
Right.
like Megicula being like, all right, I've had enough of you, Vanica, get out of here.
Right.
Yeah.
Shoot.
And she's talking about a plot that she's got here, like where Lucifero and the others haven't noticed us and what we're doing here, you know. And she's got some spell, apparently some sacrifice spell where she needs 3 powerful female mages or 3 mages of the same sex, but it's implied that female is what it means.
Yeah.
It
Just 'cause
must be, yeah.
Just because it shows like Lolo Pechka and then this panel of, I think, Charlotte getting the curse thing, the curse warding magic put around her.
I feel like it might be Noelle or Aesir or something.
Aesir or Charlotte, one of the three, but
Yeah.
And I agree also that it kind of is implied that it has to be women because there's plenty of times where 3 mages of the same sex are around, like all the time with all the guys everywhere, right? They're around all the time. So this page 13 of Megicula kind of talking about this plan or spell or whatever, I don't really understand it.
Me neither.
At all.
Yeah.
Like, what is this really the plan? Like, and it's so easy. Like, what about this whole thing to get the devils out of hell or whatever, like out of the underworld, Kithloth and all this, the Dark Triad and Morris, and it's so difficult to get devils over here. But as long as I have 3 women I've cursed over my whole life, and who, like, the 3, I don't understand who the 3 are. Vanica, Lolopechka, must be Noelle, maybe because of Noelle's mom.
Well, because Charlotte's there too, right? Yeah.
He's talking about the souls of 3 vastly powerful mages of the same sex. So
I feel like there's just stuff left out. I feel like these things alone, like 3 female mages, even changing the wording to female instead of just same sex or whatever. Fine, 3 female mages. The preparations for my descent are all in place. Is that it? What's the rest of this plan? This can't be it, right?
Yeah, I need a little bit more. I need a little bit more for this for sure. And I want to say Tabitha is going to now. I mean, because the end
we'll
of
get further exposition.
Yeah, I do. And normally I'm a little bit more cynical about, like, crossing our fingers and hoping Tabitha is going to, like, do more things or whatever. But, like, for this one, I think because the chapter ends, with Megicula finally coming out. You know what I mean? I feel like the next chapter we're gonna get like a big monologue from Megicula or I don't even know how to say that, but yeah, from them. I feel like we're going to get like a big monologue that thoroughly, explains kind of like what they're doing, what the motivations are, and like what they're preparing. Hopefully, but it seems like it because I think that this chapter was just like all for the fight, and then the reveal of Megicula's form and disposing of Vanica, and the bolstering of the Lolopechka puppet or whatever, like this is like a new form for Lolopechka too, I think so. I feel like that's what this kind of like chapter was for, and then the next chapter we'll get the villainous. Now here's my whole plan, youngsters.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, I think she means Lolopechka, Vanica, and Noelle. Because on the next page she said, I've been with Vanica a long time. I do sympathize. However, once Vanica and Lolopechka die, my manifestation will be complete.
There we go. But wait. Okay. So then where like wouldn't so then
or Charlotte.
So then why wouldn't like Noelle or the 3rd mage be included in this line of dialogue?
In that dialogue,
yeah. I've been with Vanica a long time. However, once Vanica and Lolopechka die, my So maybe the first 2 is just for her manifestation to complete, but then more of her plan is related to Noelle. I have no idea.
Vessel, maybe.
Yeah.
And the other thing I don't understand is like, okay, once Vanica and Lolopechka die, my manifestation will be complete. And then last, double spread 16-17, she says, before that happens, I'll let you brawl one more time. Like, really? Like, you've been waiting this whole time to be manifested, right? Yeah. This is a big plan. And once Vanica and Lolopechka die, it will happen immediately. But I'm not going to do it. I'm going to wait, and you're going to fight Lolopechka. And then some future time, when I'm satisfied, then I'm going to kill both of them. Or I can kill them now, but I'm not going to. I don't know. It's just strange to me.
Yeah, it does feel pretty.
Yes, well, it seems to me like she'll do it right after they die.
Yeah, I think it's
like
going.
If you all die together, you won't be lonely, isn't that right?
Yeah.
And then she's got the line of dialogue there where she's like, "I'll let you brawl one more time before that happens."
I get her motivation. Like she's playful. She wants to have them fight because it's fun or whatever. It just
you don't want to fight Lolopechka. I'm gonna make you fight her, and that's gonna be fun to watch because you don't want to do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. Yeah. I could see.
Just the arrogance of devils, I guess. But
yeah.
I feel like they've been working so hard this whole time, and apparently she's right there. She's at the finish line. She just has to take one step over.
Yeah.
But I'm just gonna wait, let you guys run for a while and laugh at you or whatever. I don't know.
Plot.
This panel
devils are tricksy
in devil form is drastic.
Yeah,
it's wild.
Yeah, for sure.
It's creepy. Like Berserk vibes.
Yeah.
Very, very creepy.
This got to be like a known reference inside of like Japanese ancient Japanese like monster lore. Like I feel like I've seen this design on Megicula, like with all the titties. Like I feel like I feel like we've even seen this in like Phantom Seer recently. I feel like it's like a Momotaro thing or whatever.
Right.
Wasn't the
I think that's what it's called.
like the main like dad of all the children of the Secession War and Hunter, his Nen Beast had a bunch of titties on it.
That's
like,
right. That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think you're right, Knox. I think it must be some sort of yokai
Yeah.
or traditional, like this is just a traditional creepy way of drawing a demon lady or whatever, right? Like
yeah.
a lot of boobies. Not
They look
appetizing.
I don't know if it looks like boobs to me though. Almost it kind of does, but at the same time, these end things don't really look like nipples.
Right.
But I think it's meant to look monstrous. I agree. I think it's meant to look creepy, right? Like it's off.
Yeah.
It's like similar to something, but creepy looking too. You know what I mean?
That's made of weird like titty spores.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I got my fingers crossed that Xenon will be, I can't wait to see what Xenon's gonna do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because overall the Dark Triad has been very underwhelming in my opinion, and I think that for Noelle this is great. If her character, I feel like as far as like development and progression goes, is kind of like there as a character. Like her strength is going to continue rising because she's going to keep getting in more fights. But I feel like after Megicula, I feel like that's like, I don't know what else there is for her character, because and obviously Tabata will just write whatever continuation of her character there is, but this is a really big deal for Noelle specifically.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I think it's weird that in such a big moment for her character, you give her opponent is just Vanica. You know what I mean? Like as a character, Vanica like doesn't feel like any more to me than like the fodder villains that we've seen. Like she just has more HP, she has more power, and she's on screen longer. But like as a character, and including her like involvement in Noelle and Aesir's life, I thought there would just be more to her. You know what I mean?
But I think it's not Vanica. I think it's Megicula. That's
what I mean. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. So you're right. Megicula is the bad guy.
Noelle's like primary villain.
Killed her mom or
whatever. Or
absolutely.
Hurt her mom or cursed her mom or whatever.
Absolutely. But inside of like Vanica specifically, it's like this is who we've had to deal with for 50 plus chapters. You know what I mean? And it's like if you're going to write a very obvious situation, like we all knew that she was going to beat Vanica and then Megicula was going to come out. That was apparent like the whole time. But like not only was this fight like pretty much the exact same thing as the last fight with Vanica, except Noelle wins this time. You know what I mean? Like even inside of the choreography, there was a lot of similarities. And I understand that they have their fighting styles and whatnot or whatever. But like if you're going to take an obvious route and you're going to commit to that obvious route, at least like put some, like we just had two chapters that were dedicated to just fighting and choreography. You know what I mean? If you're gonna, if you're just for the end result that we all saw coming, like if you're going to do that, then at least like subvert something in the meantime, or like throw some compelling writing for the person who's boxing. You know what I mean? Like it just feels like very underwhelming for such a big moment, such a big fight in Noelle's character arc. You know what I mean? And I understand
that's where I feel like it's gonna be bigger later, right? Like I totally agree with you. Like Vanica has been the bad guy, right, for a very long time against Noelle. But it is almost as if like, I don't want to say bait and switch, but like, kind of like Vanica is weak. Vanica is done. Megicula actually is who Noelle has been against this whole time. Right. Just think of it that way. Yeah. And hopefully we'll get like that powerful writing, that pathos for Megicula, or at least some sort of other motivation or something.
Sure.
Some big powerful moment for Noelle's character in that fight. Maybe even like fully overcoming her kind of a lack of control of her magic, say. I mean, I know she like has grown a lot, but maybe Megicula is like somehow related to that. I feel like she might be somehow, but I feel like there's still the potential for a good ending to Noelle's character arc in this battle.
Yeah, I just don't.
I agree. It's not Vanica though.
And it's obvious that it's that it's not Vanica at this point. You know what I mean? And we've always known that Megicula was in the background there, and that's where all of Noelle's kind of like upbringing strife kind of like comes from. And we have all the pieces to that puzzle just about now. You know what I mean? And like that all feels good. You know what I mean? As plot progression. Noelle's this character in the beginning of the series, can't control her magic, her whole family's pissed at her. Great starting point. She grows through all of that, like strength wise, and then gets the respect of Nozel and things like that, or whatever. He says sorry and shit, like that all feels good. But then when you're coming to, you know, the head of the character arc and like what kind of started this whole thing, I don't want that to feel underwhelming, especially for, you know, the female lead. You know what I mean? So that's the only thing that's kind of disappointing about this situation. Obviously, there's more storytelling that needs to happen. You know what I mean? So we'll keep our fingers crossed there and hold our breath or whatever. At least I will. Right. You know what I mean? But overall, this chapter looked beautiful. It's always going to. You know what I mean? And the fighting is always going to look cool. But I think it's at a point now where we're like 300 chapters in, and I just need something deeper. You know what I mean? From these characters and from the writing you know, of the story, especially inside of such a drastic arc with so much at stake. You know what I mean? Like, this is where you pull out all the stops, I feel like. You know what I mean? So but yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on it. But
yeah, very much looking forward to getting this whole situation like fleshed out a little more, hopefully, and as they actually come to fighting each other.
And I need Gaja to do more shit, bro. Like I need to focus on Gaja. I need Gaja writing, bro, because Gaja, like, so far, like when he was introduced, bro, I remember we were so lit when his character came out. And you're like, I want to know everything about that guy, and he's like training people, and so far all he's really done is kind of like fight in the background, and like we know that he trained people. You know what I mean? And it's like, I know he's gonna turn up here pretty soon. We got a great panel of him, you know, like getting beat up again. I feel like we always see him taking damage throughout the course of this you know, arc, and like not really doing much else. But I know his time is coming at least. You know what I mean? So I'm really excited to see what Gaja does, probably next chapter. So
yeah, something to do with Lolopechka, obviously. Like
yeah,
absolutely.
We'll see how much they'll be forced to fight. But yeah.
I think that's a great opportunity for like really deep writing, you know what I mean, inside of this situation, because that's like Lolopechka and Gaja are obviously very close, because he's like kind of like right hand, I want to say, to Lolopechka this whole time, you know what I mean? So I think that making him fight against Lolopechka in this way is we're going to get a lot of internal monologues. We'll probably get a flashback of them together, coming up together, and I feel like Tabata's been saving that, you know what I mean? So I'm excited for that, because Tabata really knows what he's doing with backstories, you know what I mean, and flashbacks, you know. So I would love to get that for Gaja sometime in the next couple of chapters. I feel like that'd be right on time for him.
Yeah.
Well, I don't really have anything else for Black Clover.
Yeah, I think I'm good too.
Yeah.
Well, with that, I think we can go ahead and move right into chapter 318 of My Hero Academia, Reckless.
Ooh.
And I did enjoy this chapter a lot.
Oh
yes.
Yeah, this was the one.
We get just a Deku kind of centered chapter about how he's burning the candle at both ends here, and doing too much, really, and like everybody around him is starting to see it, and to the point where like we obviously get the moment at the end of the chapter where even his classmates are trying to seek him out, like, yo, we know you're trying to carry too much on your back right now, bro. And, like, I don't want to jump too far and like go too deep into it. Obviously we'll talk about it, but the fact that it was Bakugo here at the end of the chapter, it's so hard for me.
Perfect.
Yeah, that was so wild.
Starting off, we get Endeavor here on the phone with Deku, saying pretty much that, like, you're doing too much, you're running yourself too ragged, you're not going to last much longer if you keep going at this rate. And we get Deku like, I'm still on my feet.
It's like, but for how long, bro? You're not even eating. Like, he like All Might like tried to like give him some food or whatever. He keeps giving him this bento box, like his favorite food or whatever. You know what I mean? And it was really powerful last chapter. And he was like, no. And kind of like swatted it down. I can't remember. I'd have to go back to the chapter, but he didn't accept it. So it's like, if you're not eating, it's like you're gonna run out of energy, fam. Like, you're kind of like tweaking right now, bro. Like, I understand that you're in this mode, you want to do these things, and you feel like the whole, you know, all this huge burden is on your back. And this is like, you know, more, I feel like, of a character journey for Deku at this point than it is like him kind of coming into his own and being like, you know, a true vigilante, you know, like kind of like how it's been set up a little bit here. Like, it feels, I don't want to use the word regress or regression, but like it feels like he's taking a couple steps back mentally, you know what I mean? And even though he's like wildly capable now and he's got like all of these new facilities that he has great control over, as a character, I feel really bad for Deku, and I'm sure that's what Kohei's going for here. Even though he's super confident about everything he's doing in the moment, there's a lot of subtle, like, there's a lot of subtle shit in here that like kind of like tells you that like Deku is like not okay right now. You know what I mean? And
Right.
it's like really it's kind of scary because it's like he's not gonna stop. You know what I mean? So it's like what kind of situations is Kohei going to put him in considering that? You know what I mean? And we know that Bakugo's here now to kind of like talk some sense into him at the end of the chapter, but it's like, is he really going to get through right now to Deku? You know what I mean? If, is he? I hope I definitely hope he does. But
if anybody can, Bakugo can. But
sure, yeah. I was gonna say Bakugo or like maybe even Uraraka. You know what I mean?
He's on the phone like guys, like he's here. So that means to me tells me he's on the phone with the other classmates.
Yes.
You know, they're on a group call. And a bunch more of them are about to come out the woodwork. You know, Kirishima is about to come out like, "What's up, Ida?" You know, about to come out like, yo, I fucking love Ida. And of course, Uraraka. You know, or maybe not because she's got the kind of the character arc she's going through right now, where she's like, you know, has had feelings in the past for Deku and like decided to let him go and not kind of ride on his coattails. So maybe she would decide not to come. And she's just on her own shit right now. But I definitely think more of the classmates are coming in here.
Hell yeah.
Definitely. Nox, like what you were saying, you know, about like Deku being in a really bad spot right now, right? Like I think a great example of that is the comments of Despot, or not Despot, what's the dictator, right? Like what's this villain, right? On page 10, right? Even this guy notices that Deku is on says here in 10, a reckless rampage born of anxiety and impatience, right? I feel like Deku, I think he's like spot on here, 100% spot on. Yeah. Where Deku is so concerned, he's so anxious about the way things are going, about, you know, his role and everything, how much weight is on his shoulders. And he's not fixing that question within. Rather, he is trying to go out and do everything he can. Yes. And what can he do? He's a superhero now. Like he has all these quirks. Like he's finally gotten to use them. He's finally at equivalent, basically of on par with All Might at 100%. I'm sure the only thing he can think to do is help. You know what I mean?
Right.
And he's not eating very much. Like we do see a panel. Let's see, where was this? He's like walking through
8 on the bottom left. He's eating a little bar.
Yeah, he's eating a bar or something, which I think is like a super subtle.
Oh, okay. He is eating. Okay. He is eating a little bit. So he's not like entirely right. Yeah. So he's still able to think about things like that.
Like sustaining himself on like energy bars, cliff bars and shit, which is not
right. That ain't gonna work forever. Yeah.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
Especially not if you're trying to like build more muscle and like get stronger to the point where you can do straight up 100% one for all strength shit.
Exactly. You know? Yep.
Yeah, and this is crazy how because this puppeteer guy.
Yeah,
dictator. Yeah, there we go. A reckless rampage born of anxiety and impatience. That's good. And you made a great point on that line of dialogue. But then going into you take on the world alone to the point of exhaustion and ruin. Yes, indeed, you're just as he described you. So this is just more, you know, all for one. You know, 5-headed, big brain, 4D chess type shit. You know, from All for One giving him more stock. You know, in the overall conflict, which is just massive. And 100%. Let's talk about this montage of Deku just going out and being a vigilante. This is fucking cool as fuck. You know what I mean? Like him just jumping into the middle of the fray and just like doing everything he needs to do, but still not kind of like he's still every bit of a hero as he needs to be, you know, because when he jumps into the fray, he's still going up to people first and foremost, like, are you hurt? Let's get you out of here. You know, like evacuation, safety, and combat, all of the things that we've seen throughout the entire series of what makes a hero. We're still seeing that from Deku, even though he's at such a awkward place mentally, you know what I mean? And psychologically in his character. And like, I feel like that, because we know that he's in a really tough place mentally, and the fact that he still is able to perform at all of the marks of being a hero says a lot about Deku. You know what I mean? I feel like that's major. And it's really cool to see that like Spinner's got fans, because like these motherfuckers are dressed like Spinner now. If you go on like page 5, like there's like 3 people that got Spinner's outfit on. Yeah, that's tight as fuck. Because now you're seeing the influence of, you know, the League of Villains after the Paranormal Liberation Front, where people are seeing, you know, what happened, and they're because before it was Spinner wanted to be like Stain, you know what I mean, and like it just like goes down the line of influence, you know what I mean, like on both sides. You know, you have it's just crazy to see the ebb and flow of society's responses to villainous attacks and heroic, you know, rescues and things like that, and to see what the people do with that information. You know what I mean? Because it honestly, post arc is adding stakes to the Paranormal Liberation Front War arc in retrospect. You know what I mean? Because now you're looking back and you're going, all of that shit was drastic, but like, look at everything that it's done to society after the fact. Look at all of these consequences. You have, fanatic zealots, of the Paranormal Liberation Front War that might not even know them, but they're on the streets going crazy for their cause. You know what I mean? Like that's a big deal coming out of such a massive event,
So let me jump in here with another perspective here on this page 5, right?
Yeah.
Like I pretty much agree with 100% of what you just said, right? Like dress up as Spinner. I think that definitely is a very good possibility.
At least this dude coming down the stairs in the back.
Right.
He looks just like Spinner.
Well, if you real quick, Nick, sorry.
So
if you
does
look
the chunky octopus.
Yeah, he's got like you can really see it in his design because that's like the exact same shirt, like and everything. You can see the full Spinner outfit there. Yeah.
So could this not be though a Stain outfit? Isn't Spinner's outfit a Stain outfit?
Yeah, it was originally based, like when we first saw Spinner, it was basically like in that forest arc, it was basically like the exact same outfit. But then once they came out of My Villain Academia and they got their like, new positions and whatnot, Spinner's aesthetic kind of changed to like be more of his own. And now like, like this shirt, like with all the polka dots on it, like I don't think Stain had that, but Spinner does. You know what I mean? So
really, Spinner has polka dots on his shirt?
I mean, like you see those black dots on like the octopus dude. Like if you pull up like a new tab or something like that, and you type in like Spinner MHA, like, first image result, you can see it right there with like the blue dots, blue polka dots right there. It's the exact same outfit. Yeah.
Damn, it is. That's awesome. Yeah, great spot. I definitely did not pick up so much that it was Spinner in particular, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, like. Minor thing. Yeah, that's I love that. But like something I found interesting about this page 5 fight, right?
Yeah.
Deku comes in and we get no dialogue of what's happening here. Now here's the alternate perspective I was talking about, right? On this thing, right? You see this, and especially if you pick up on that these people are dressed like Spinner, you think these people on the right, they're bad people, and Deku is saving the people on the left, cowered over and hunched over, whatever, right? But I feel like couldn't it be that these people on the right, they're monstrous types, right? They're I forget what the word was that we got like a few chapters ago with that, kind of racist organization against heteromorphs. Heteromorphs?
Heteromorphs, yeah.
So these are heteromorphs, right? Could it not be that these people are heteromorphs who have taken up maybe the pride of Spinner as a heteromorph, right? Now we're going to defend ourselves as heteromorphs. Maybe these people on the left are racists. And maybe these people on the right, these heteromorphs, are fighting back. And going to page 6, right? Deku asked them, "Are you hurt?" And they're like, "Oh shit! Are you? You have multiple quirks. Are you working for All for One?" And I don't know. When he says no, and they're like, "Great, glad to hear it," they seem afraid, almost as if like if he had said yes, that was the answer they wanted, right? Like, "Are you working for All for One?" No. Oh shit! That means you're Deku. You're the good guy, and we're like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, like,
I see where you're going with this.
The whole situation, because there's no actual confirmation of what happened before the situation, and because it's, as you said, Deku is like a vigilante, right? He's going from place to place. He has a sense there's danger here. I'm going to go here and try and do a split-second judgment of the situation, beat someone's ass, and be like, "Are you okay?" You know what I mean? And then run, bounce, right? It could be this whole situation is flipped over. Because I'm very confused as to why this person is like so afraid on page 6.
Right. Yeah. That is a very interesting light to shed on the on that new perspective. I didn't think about that at all. I thought that this person was scared because they're like, "You're gonna hurt me because you're working with All for One," but you just saved me and asked me if I was hurt. Yeah, this is kind of a weird like situation. Yeah. I never really thought about it like that. I just assumed, what the chapter kind of like makes you assume, about the situation. So that's crazy.
Yeah, we move from that into this inner monologue from Deku about how he's just got to keep going. You got to put a stop to Shigaraki in the league. Got to fuck up All for One, and then we get this little one panel washing of this like kaiju monster. Flies up to it, and that's the next page. He's walking through the forest eating the energy bar.
Right. So he dusted the shark monster. That would have been a cool fight to kind of like focus in on for a little bit. Obviously, you can't show full power fights for all of these situations that he's jumping to or whatever, but just knowing that was a fight that he had is like really cool to think about. Like it's
Right.
like I've never seen, well, I think we have seen Deku like kind of like fight in the water a little bit, but like back when he was super weak at UA, you know what I mean? I don't remember any other kind of like
another good
manual.
just footnote and reminder of how strong he is now, that we
Right.
can just get a one panel thing like that of him going up to this monster and then he's just completely fine afterwards.
Yeah.
You know, eating an energy bar in the woods, like he just beat its ass. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
damn, my boy's out here now. Fuck.
Yeah. I love the side. Are we going to go into the side by side of the your turn?
Oh no, you go for it.
I was just gonna say, I think it's really cool that we just got the panel here for the parallel, you know, like just right there in the chapter, because I mean we talked about it, you know, like when the chapter came out and at the mansion or whatever, but it's cool that Kohei was just like, there you go, in case you missed it, you know, or something.
Yeah.
But yeah,
No,
I just
which
wanted
I
to point that out. Yeah.
Yep. What I loved is, you know, going further, right? That's on page 8, and going to page 9 and 10. These thoughts, you know, Deku, his mom smiling, you know, Gran Torino eating the taiyaki or whatever, right? All Might smiling, everyone's smiling, right? Look at Deku on that second main panel on 9, right?
Yeah.
It's like his eyes are closed, and it's as if he's smiling, right? Then go to page 10. Everyone's smiling behind him, and his mask, that mouthpiece over his mouth. And I'm pretty sure this is intentional as costume, right? It looks like a smile, right?
Absolutely.
Like I'm pretty sure that's the whole point of his outfit has always been to be a smile. And it looks, on the one hand, so terrifying, scary. He looks like a villain, but it's still that stark contrast white smile on top. It looks beautiful.
To your point, originally when we first got information about the aesthetic of this suit and why it was designed the way that it was, he said, I want to save people with a smile like All Might, but I'm like timid and I'm unconfident, so I can't smile in times of conflict. You know what I mean? So that was like why it was so, you know, cool back then. You know what I mean? But now he's a lot more confident. He's strong. He can beat anybody's ass basically, but he still can't smile. You know what I mean? Because he is in such a terrible point, you know, in his mood and in his life and things like that. So I think it's cool that regardless of the reason why Deku can't smile, that mask is there. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like that's
ooh, love that. Ooh.
Fire. Super
Good.
fire. Holy shit.
But then we move into the dictator conflict where he's like a puppet master.
Yeah.
Sending a bunch of innocent people at Deku, and
that's always the worst.
Yes.
Yeah, and we get this like deep like inner monologue from him where it seems like he's kind of trying to formulate a strategy, but also at the same time like giving up.
Yep.
You know, it's like he's like, man, I've reached the end of my rope here. I can't beat these innocent people's asses. You know, what am I supposed to do? But then we get the EP25. Oh man, that bitch is clean. Bonks buddy right on his shit.
So fire.
So great.
Just like concentrated right on the target. So good. I have the high ground. Yo.
And I feel like Bakugo like looks a lot more mature. I feel like in this last panel, you know what I mean?
He doesn't look angry, you know what I mean?
He doesn't look angry at all.
Yeah, normally in this situation, like he would have a wild, you know, like like kind of like, you know, like monstrous kind of like facial expression or whatever, but he's like looks relieved, like, all right, I took this guy out.
Friend.
Yeah, exactly.
Glad that he finally found him.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not excited for the like this. Okay, so what this chapter does, you guys remember when there was that like super like weird awkward theory that Bakugo's like a time traveler or something like that, and the second inheritor of One for All is Bakugo himself, you know what I mean, or whatever.
Oh, sure.
And that like caused like whatever kind of discourse on Twitter or whatever, and on Reddit and shit. But like this last double spread kind of like I feel like is gonna bring that back inside of the community, because not only
it's the transition.
Look at these last three panels, dude. He fucking takes out the dictator, and then you get just a random ass panel of the second inheritor, you know, or the third or whatever his position is. You know what I mean? And then
second, I think,
it's like, why is he there? Like right before you show Bakugo.
It's there because if you go back to page 5, right? Or sorry, 4. He says, if there's anything that could bolster Midoriya now, it would be ... And at that time, you think like, oh, cool, your ability, right? Like the second's ability. But then you go to the end of the chapter, and it's actually teammates, friends. Bakugo,
sure. So
right?
they're just showing.
That's why that panel's there.
They're just showing that guy. They're just showing that inheritor there to make you remember the line of dialogue from earlier in the chapter. Okay, that's fine.
But,
I like that.
But I totally agree with you. Agree with you though that this will bring back that theory.
Yeah, and it's like fuck.
It's so clean. It's so clean of a transition. You know what I mean?
Something that could lend a little further to it even is like, have we gotten a confirmation of this dude's name? Because for a lot of the inheritors, we've gotten a name, but this dude is just named as leader.
Pretty sure we've not gotten a name. Pretty sure we don't know his ability yet. He has these big ass glove things on his hands, just like Bakugo. You know what I mean? Like similar haircut. I don't know. Like I think the time travel idea is dumb as hell, but but I don't know. Like it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, and I don't even know if it's like I don't even know like the full extent of the theory or whatever. I like whenever I saw people talking about it on Twitter, I just softly closed the app and went along my day. You know what I mean? Because I don't. Time for that. Yeah, like I'm super good on that. But like the only thing I know is just like time travel Bakugo. I just know that phrase. You know what I mean? So I don't know how deep, conspiracy Twitter has kind of like gone into that. In their theorizing, but I really don't want it to be that way, honestly. I think that would be so dumb.
if they do it, it better be good.
Yeah.
Time travel, as we've said many times on the show, you know what I mean? Like time travel is a very difficult thing to hit, you know what I mean? So like we'll see.
Yeah, that'd be pretty awkward. But at the same time, if Horikoshi did want to commit to that, I'm sure he could write the shit out of that. You know what I mean? But at least like right now, I'm just like, I don't want that to be a thing.
Yeah. Doubt.
Yeah. Right. All right. Well, I don't know. You guys got anything else for Hero?
I do. One more minor thing. Page 1. Endeavor mentions that there's dispatch dates for foreign heroes. So we're going to get foreign pro heroes.
Let's go. Wait, I didn't even...
to Japan soon, and that's going to be tight as hell. And just another, like Kiko would love that, you know what I mean? Like just another world building, subtle world building. I mean, it's just little bits like drip drops of world building, right? In an ocean of character development, but like it's great to see, and I'm super excited to see some of them. And like, I hope we get like this guy's like the number 1 hero in America, and this guy's like the number 7 hero in, I don't know, Germany or Australia or something, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like give me some more heroes, give me worldwide heroes.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
I need it so bad.
I must have missed that part in the dial. I must have just like not even like registered it. Like that's massive, bro. Mm-hmm. We've been waiting for that.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
But at the same time, we've already gotten that in Vigilantes.
Sure.
So. Oh, really?
Yeah.
I
do know that.
Position on international, at least in America, heroes, in Vigilantes.
Sure.
I've been saying it for like a year and a half. Like, it might be time to read Vigilantes.
You should read Vigilantes. Yes.
Well, people have been putting it in the comments too. Like, y'all should really read Vigilantes. You would know more.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, especially because like a lot of that stuff is becoming more and more prevalent in this,
getting tied together more and more.
Story. Yeah. And that's another thing too about this last double spread is that like the movies, are people are talking about how canon the movies are a little bit, you know what I mean? Like not entirely, but in one of the movies, I think it is the one that I watched, Bakugo gets all for one, like Deku trying to take down somebody, and Deku's like, we can't do it with just me and you, like as we are now, you gotta like eat my hair and get all and get one for all too. So like if that is trying to be integrated into this situation at all, that could be a potential link between Bakugo and this inheritor.
Thumbs down. Yeah,
thumbs down for sure. I don't know how to make it make sense, but that was something that
you say the movie isn't canon, get over it. He's not in the room with all the other inheritors. He's not in the the all for one space or whatever, one for all space. Get over it. Just be done with it. Bakugo has never had one for all. Just didn't happen. It's a movie.
Right.
Manga is canon.
Yeah. And you never know. I mean, it all depends on what on what Kohei wants. He can come out with a statement anytime he wants and just say the movies are canon. Now what? You know what I mean? Have fun with that, analysts. You know what I mean? Like you can do that at any point in time, and we'd have to kind of just go with it. But I think I remember when I was reading this chapter, I was in a voice channel in a Discord with a couple of my friends from Twitter, and one of them brought up that potential link between Bakugo and this inheritor because of the movie and how kind of canon they are. So I just wanted to throw that out in the conversation just in case, but I really don't.
Yeah. Not for me.
Yeah. I think that about does it for Hero this week, though.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Well, with that, I think we can go ahead and move right into this piece de résistance. Chapter 1017 of One Piece. The Order. And we get this cover story or this reader request here of a chimpanzee solving puzzles with Buggy's body.
This is wild.
It's cute.
Pretty funny little cover panel, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Good to see
I don't really...
Buggy.
Yes, good to see our ICP Shichibukai. I don't really get the puzzles they're solving, but it's cute.
Yeah.
Cute to see
like I
Buggy and a monkey.
He's got like a Rubik's Cube on his body or something, but
it must be a Rubik's Cube, I guess.
Yeah, I think it'd have to be or something, yeah.
Even though it looks like 2 colors, so you really wouldn't be that good or whatever, but yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, we move right into this scene here with Queen, you know, like what the fuck is this girl doing here? And he's kind of deducing over the chapter that it's her ability that's causing the, you know, the fray here. And shot a beam at her, or tried to at least. But
right. Now on page 2, do you think when he kind of yelled at Tama and like knocked her out, was that hockey? Right, like kind of even just his like subtle, like unintentional hockey. He's just
shit.
OP. You know what I mean? Just yelling at her.
I didn't think about that. I thought
like intimidation.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I thought it was just like such an overwhelming, you know, opponent yelling at her. Just like, oh shit, you know what I mean? But that's a cool thought though. I definitely didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we move into this scene here with Jinbei. We got some badass Jinbei shit where he takes a bullet. You know
so cold.
Who's like, look, you ain't gonna complain, and he's like, boy, I'm hard body. You can shoot me all you want. I don't give a fuck.
Right. We doing this.
He basically just has a cool line of dialogue here. Like, we always knew we were outnumbered. You know, how am I going to complain that you're ganging up on me?
Right.
Yep.
We always knew it. And like, this is our job. The strongest of us is to hold off the strongest of you, no matter what. You know what
Let's go. Fuck yeah.
So cold.
Fire. And I'm looking at this, I'm page turn into this Jack and Inuarashi situation. And I know that he said, I'm going to stay back and fight Jack, you know what I mean, while you guys all go away. But I didn't think, I mean, it makes sense considering the odds, but I didn't think that it's like, man, you're surrounded, bro. It's hella, it's not just Jack here. It's Jack and all of his people. You know what I mean? It's like, fuck, man, you could have had a couple people stay back with you to deal with this front line, bro. You know what I mean? Like, where your minks at, man? And I think I know why they're not there, because they were like hella separated. They like went as scabbards, you know what I mean, or together to fight Kaido. Then they got washed, then they got healed, and then they're kind of back on the battlefield a little bit here. And I don't think they ever like ran into Shishillian and co, you know, since then. So
and it's a thing right now too, like we're with the clouds from Kaido or something, like the moon is blocked. They can't use their Sulong right now, right? I want to say that like you would think the moon is going to make its way out again at some point, and Inuarashi, I don't know, because I want to see more Inuarashi Sulong shit.
Yeah.
Dude. And it seems like we're starting to get into, you know, the phase of the conflict where these one-on-one fights are kind of starting to like settle themselves, you know what I mean, where it's like the dust is kind of settling from the chaos, and there's probably going to be chaos throughout. Who knows how long these one-on-one fights that have been set up are going to are they going to be full power in East Lobby kind of situation, or are they going to square up for a little bit and then a random explosion is going to shift the battlefield around, and then people will have new opponents? We don't know. But yeah, like I can totally see now that this is kind of like cleared into a one-on-one kind of situation. I can totally see the moon coming back out and giving Inuarashi that edge against Jack.
Right.
I think that'd be dope.
I do wonder, like, they'll have to be outside for that, right? I don't think that'll work indoors.
Oh,
where they're
sure.
at now.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But there can always be some sort of big explosion and boom, there's a hole in the roof or something.
Yeah,
right?
you never know. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I could totally see it happening like that. Explosion right above Jack, in the ceiling right above Jack, falls down, collapses on him. He fucking dusts his shit off and gets back up, and he's looking at Sulong Inuarashi like, oh shit.
That sounds cool.
That'd be fucking sick.
I can't remember, did they get their shit back, or were they still missing a leg and arm in Sulong?
They were still missing them.
Yeah,
I think I remember that.
I don't fully remember, but I think you're right.
I don't know how Sulong could regrow limbs for temporarily.
I don't know.
That sounds
some tight ass Sulong shit.
Yeah, hey, I'm here for it. Fuck yeah, like bring my guys to full capability in that form. But it just doesn't make sense right now, I guess.
Right.
Given what we understand about Sulong transformation so far, but yeah, man. Tama activates the Kibi Dongle.
Yes.
Fire.
Here's the order.
We get all the gifters here switching sides, starting to beat ass on the pleasures and whatnot.
Sir, we always knew this was going to happen.
Yep. Very cool.
Yeah.
Luffy alive in the submarine. They're, resuscitating him wherever. Momonosuke alive. Obviously, we knew both of those, were alive or whatever.
Right.
Great to see him though. This is confirmation.
Yeah.
Yep. I feel like we haven't seen Luffy in this position since Arlong Park.
Or against Crocodile. I feel like he didn't necessarily get waterlogged, but he died essentially.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm talking about specifically chest compressions, shooting water out of his mouth because he fell into the ocean for so long or whatever, or fell into the water for so long. I feel like we haven't seen that really since Arlong Park.
Fishman Island, I suppose. I'm sure there was a time where they were knocked out, but was there a scene like this in Fishman Island? I think they just woke up.
Yeah.
In someone's house, in the mermaid's house or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah, man. But it's good to see that Oda still uses that caveat of the devil fruit in ways that kind of add stakes. You know what I mean? Even though that's the main thing, devil fruits, you can't swim. So what are you gonna do? Show Luffy drowning one time in the first half of the story? No, we got to see people getting fucked up in the water relatively often. You know what I mean? Otherwise, it's gonna be why was that even a thing? These motherfuckers are on water constantly. They're literal pirates. You know what he was doing with that. You got to show that. You know what I mean? And he just knows, should probably get a couple scenes of people drowning with devil fruits throughout the series, Keep that concept going, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Move into the scene here with Queen, further deducing, what's going on. And he's like, oh, did that kid do this? Goes to try and shoot the beam.
Yep.
And we get the Collier strike from my man. He comes up kicks him in the back of his shit. Wow.
Hell yeah. And he's like, damn it, Judge's son again? And he's like, all right, look, bro. You're not going to keep calling me Judge's son, man.
Right.
Just building up that animosity, you know what I mean? To kind of make the fight have emotion. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And we get the full confirmation that Queen is a cyborg here. He's all cyborged up with his tail and shit. I mean, we've seen a lot of this, but he says it implicitly, I am a cyborg.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Right.
You're right.
I do like that Sanji's first reaction is, was that supposed to be a secret? I mean, even for us readers, right? Obviously he's a cyborg.
Right.
Yeah.
Hybrid form looks dope.
Hell
yes.
Been waiting for this. Didn't disappoint. Zoro's still in a blunt. He's still in a cross joint.
In the cross joint.
Yeah.
Ooh, baby chopper.
Baby geezer. So what is he baby physically but old mentally?
Oh,
is that going into
that is what it is. Okay,
Yeah.
I was wondering why. So on the top of 12, right? His dialogue, I'll be fine. You just focus on yourself, Sonny.
Yeah.
I was I don't get it. How is this baby dialogue? But it's not. You're right.
Yeah.
That's old man dialogue in a baby body.
Yeah, so it's just showing all of the effects of the Rumble Ball side effects.
Right. Yes.
And this is cool because it's you could picture Rumble Ball side effects giving him one big arm, one small arm, just making him look like a grotesque monster or something.
Yep.
But this is a really cool way to show that mental and psychological side effects. Or I mean physical and psychological side effects. That's tight.
Yeah.
That's tight. That's Oda doing Oda shit.
Hell yeah.
More Oda doing Oda shit and more Zoro doing Zoro shit. This medicine they're talking about, you can ultra regenerative effects only temporarily. You suffer twice as much later. This is exactly what Zoro thrives off of, right? A perfect thing for Zoro. Yes, get him back in the fight and have him be in immense, excruciating pain later, and just more Zoro feats. You know what I mean? So good.
Yeah.
Thinking back to Thriller Bark or whatever, right?
Right.
So
Thinking
many
back to
scenes
fucking Baratier, you know what I mean? Where it's just fuck it, slice me in half, bro, I lost. And it's no, you got more shit to do, but you're going to be 40% for the rest of the the first half of this story, you know what I mean? He literally never recovered from that, you know what I mean? Until the time skip, fully, you know what I mean? I want to say, well, maybe he was back to 100% by in East Lobby or Shabandi or something like that, or but I feel he's always taking half an arc to recover from the fight of the previous arc. You know what I mean? I feel he needs more time, to get back to full stats than anybody else on the fucking crew. You know what I mean? Everyone else seems to kind of reset once the conflict is over, but Zoro's always just oh, that sucks. You know what I mean?
Damage.
Yeah, he takes the most damage. You know what I mean? Right? So it's yeah, this totally this makes a lot of sense. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah. 100%.
Who's Who versus Jinbei is so good. Oh my god, Samehara Seikin.
And let me just say, like, as you're
Love it
going
whenever
through
he
this
does
fight,
that.
like, I thought it was so tight as you're like, wait a minute, like, when he says, like, oh, blade pistol, okay, interesting, blade pistol, that's cool, or whatever.
Yes.
And he's like, Tempest kick, shave. It was, wait a minute, I recognize these English terms. This is Soru, this is Rokushiki, you know,
this
like
is Ryankaku.
Yeah, Ryankaku, right? Like, I was like, oh, damn, he's using the Rokushiki.
Yes.
The 6 powers.
Yes.
It's like, oh, you get confirmation, like, or when Jinbei says, should I call this Tekkai? You know what I mean? Like, should I call this Iron Body? I'm like, yo, this is so sick, dude. I can't believe they bring this back.
This is so dope.
Man.
And you want to know what's even more drastic about this is that our good buddy Hannibal, he's been on a couple episodes before, but he sent me a screenshot from Ines Lobby of Rob Lucci. You're worthy of being a captain. I'd like to tell a certain idiot I know about you. He says that to Luffy in Ines Lobby. Yeah.
In reference to Who's Who.
That's so tight. I think absolutely. Because it's super vague. It doesn't, like it's literally just that part of the dialogue. But I'll send you guys the I'll send
Please
you guys
do.
the screenshot. But yeah, it's literally Rob Lucci in his hybrid form. Like, you're worthy of being a captain. I'd like to tell a certain idiot I know about you. But can your ability keep up with your commitment? So like that's the whole panel. But like, I think he's definitely talking about Who's Who right there. And that was such a cool spot from Hannibal. So shout out to him.
Especially given what we get at the end of this chapter, right? Where like apparently Who's Who is related to Luffy getting the Gomu Gomu no Mi, right? Like, so obviously Shanks' crew, how they got the Gomu Gomu no Mi in the first place, they must have stole it from the ship he was assigned to protect or something like that, right? And that's why he was put in prison for fucking up so badly or whatever. Obviously, huge plot and narrative potential added to the Gomu Gomu no Mi, right? Like, where there's forever the theory, or like, oh, is that Gold Roger's fruit, right? Or is it Joy Boy's fruit, right? And I would like to think it was not Gold Roger's fruit.
Or Joy Boy's either, because I kind of like the idea that the Gomu Gomu no Mi was kind of like this underwhelming power that Double Fruits could give you, and Luffy was just, the
first one to master it, really.
Yeah, the first one to make it actually, like a relevant, force. Yeah, right. You know what I mean? So like, I always liked that about early One Piece, thinking about Luffy just being creative enough to use his fruit to beat everybody because he's so malleable and it's so versatile.
Right.
But if this is like this really does end up being like a destiny thing all the way down to the fruit too, then I feel like, I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest with you. But I just wanted to throw out that awkward feeling. Yeah.
Would like to say that I've said this on the show multiple times. I always knew that the fruit would have more fucking meaning to it.
Yeah, I think you have been saying the shit out of that. Yeah.
Had to have been a reason where fucking Shanks had this specific fruit and like had it on the counter with him.
Yeah.
As if he was like drinking with it.
Yeah.
Like I've said this multiple times. There had to have been a reason. Now we got confirmation of it. So all y'all can suck my fucking dick. For real. Like, I knew this shit. Yeah. I was like, there is no reason why Shanks has some random ass fucko fruit that he's just like literally drinking with reminiscently on the
keeping
counter
in a box.
Bar, like, keeping in a box. Yeah, like no.
Yeah.
So
good shit.
I love this fucking end of this chapter.
Hell yeah. So I bet you're hype off that. That's hilarious. Yeah. I do remember, because you have been saying that even like before the show, I want to say. You know what I mean? I feel like you've been saying this for a long time, for years, bro. So
good.
Good shit.
Two more little things I want to point out with the Who's Who fight, right?
Yeah.
So going back to that blade pistol on page 13 and the let's see, where is it? The Fang pistol on page 16, right?
Right.
Those are like the Shigan, right?
Yeah,
like the
Shigan. Yeah.
And this is like now like blade pistol, the same something Gan, you know what I mean? Like Kigan or something like that, and then Fang pistol like Kibagan or something, you know what I mean? Like it's definitely, these are Rokushiki techniques as well, and
being incorporated into the specific fighting style of Who's Who, which we always kind of knew was possible, especially inside of the Shigan technique, because like if you go into Luffy versus Lucci, he had regular Shigans, but then he had hot Shigans too.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And then like the 10, right? Like the whole, all 10 fingers at once, like Jugan or whatever.
Roku Ogan is a different thing. That's like the hidden, like secret, technique or whatever.
Oh, turning your life force into power or whatever, right?
I'm still calling that Rio. I don't care. I'm still like subscribed to the idea that Roku Ogan, the ultimate technique of the Rokushiki, was just Rio, and they only teach Rio to the best fucking users of it, you know what I mean, or something like that. I
Maybe.
don't know,
Could be.
but because it behaves like the exact same way as Rio, you know what I mean?
A distance attack
yeah,
or whatever.
yeah. So I've always said that it's like similar to Mantra, before we knew what hockey was, you know what I mean? So it's like
the
a situation like
gun
that.
is the one where he puts it like this and bangs
and then
shoots
shoots the energy from the fist without contact that goes past the skin and damages internally. It's literally Rio. It's fucking Ashigara Dokoi, you know what I mean, from Sentomaru and Shibandi, you know what I mean? It all is behaving like very similarly, you know what I mean? Like Rayleigh, when he's teaching him about, and he blasts the elephant away, you know what I mean? That's all the same effect to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? But inside of the Shigan technique specifically, that's where I feel like, okay, so you had Kaku versus Zoro, and he had Ryankaku, but then he had like it extended into his swords and into his legs, and you know what I mean? Like both of his legs and shit, like we're all shooting Ryankaku, attacks or whatever. But like, I feel like the Shigan is the one that you can really kind of like, customize, you know what I mean, depending on your fighting style, or at least that's kind of like what we've seen so far. Regular Shigan, your actual finger going into the hibachi or whatever, the hot hibachi, Shigan that Lucci used, and then obviously he has blade pistol doing Shigans with his knife, and then even doing Shigans with his fucking detachable teeth. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that's just all so fucking cool to me that Oda is bringing this back, and I'm really curious if we're going to get more Rokushiki and Doriki dialogue now that CP0 is here, and also Who's Who has been kind of, because you remember that power system, or
Doriki,
Doriki, that like that power level system that Oda kind of tried to use. Yeah,
Fukuro was like, he'd like kick me or whatever, and then like they kick him, he'd be like, oh, you're like 800 or whatever.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So like, obviously, I wanted to say that I was kind of glad that Doriki wasn't really used too much after in East Lobby, because we all know like how awkward stories can get if you assign a numerical designation to power. Like look at Seven Deadly Sins. Look at Dragon Ball. You know what I mean? Like So I was like kind of like worried about that, but I feel like Oda, that was like a lot of self-awareness from Oda going like, no, I think this is just a personal metric used inside of the CP0 to just gauge strength. It's not like an actual like law of nature or anything like that. It's not, it doesn't feel as inherent to power generally as it does in Seven Deadly Sins and as it does in Dragon Ball. So I like the usage of numbers to represent power in One Piece so far. If they bring Doriki back, and it's literally just Who's Who assigning a number to Jinbei or something like that, that'll be enough for me. You know what I mean? Like, I would love to hear what Jinbei's Doriki is according to Who's Who. I think that would be so crazy to get a number like that. Power scalers are going to fucking go nuts with it, I'm sure, or whatever. But, like, I need that, like, personally, just so I can be like, Jinbei is that man, bro. Because, like, I think, what was it? Rob Lucci was like 30,000? Doriki
no. They were like in the thousands, like 3,000.
It was like 4,200, I think.
Yeah, it was not tens of thousands.
Sure. Yeah, so that would be so drastic if fucking Jinbei was like 10K just in a line of dialogue as like Who's getting like slept. You know what I mean? Like as he's losing consciousness or something.
Let me just say, I already know Jinbei's the boy, and I don't need this fake number.
Oh yeah, for
Doriki.
Sure. Oh yeah,
so I'm just saying, I'd be cool if they never brought Doriki back again.
That's fine.
You know what I mean? Like all those reasons you were saying before, right? Like you can go awry if you rely on those numbers too much.
Right.
But I agree. If they just did it with just Jinbei, only in this fight, don't mention it ever again. That'd be a cool like reset of like our expectations.
Or even if you do use it again, but only inside of the Rokushiki user, or only inside of like the CP9 or CP, like that's like just like their personal like like when Hisoka in the chairman election arc went to go cast his vote, and he's looking at everyone like 10 points, 100 points, 90 points, or whatever, just like your personal like gauge, like that's just inside of their faction, inside of their culture or whatever. That's what they do to kind of like measure people. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I think that'd be dope to get dialogue from Who's Who giving Jinbei a Doriki higher than anything we've heard of before, like as he's being knocked out. You know what I mean? Like, damn, this motherfucker's Doriki was a little bit different. You know what I mean? Like, I think that would be fucking cool. But
for sure. Yeah. Is this the first time we're seeing Who's Hybrid form?
Yes. Fire.
Because it's so sick.
Oh man.
Hell yes.
It's so
fucking dope.
Yes,
Saber-tooth tiger, my shit. I can't wait to see what's the fishman on Kaido's teams. name.
Oh, Sasaki.
I can't wait to
Sasaki,
see
yeah.
Sasaki's hybrid form too.
Yes.
Triceratops on him.
Come on, man. I'm pretty sure we're about to start seeing them because we got 2 hybrid forms in 1 chapter here. So, you know what I mean? I'm pretty sure we're about to start seeing all of these. Like in the next 2, 3, 4 chapters, I feel like all of them will be on the board.
Yeah.
Woo! Come on, man.
Ready. So ready.
I think, has anybody else got anything for One Piece?
No, I'm good.
No. Wonderful chapter.
Hell yeah.
I think that about does it then.
Yeah.
So that'll do it. Thank you all so much for watching. If you did, please slap a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Also subscribe to the channel for more content week to week. Leave a comment in that comment section down below. Let us know what you thought of this weekend jump. Or if you have any comments on any of the stuff we talked about, of course, we'll be here for it. Also, as we said before, go ahead and take a look in that description box down below where you can find links to any and all of our individual social media accounts such as Twitter, online communities such as Discord, links to listen to the podcast wherever you would normally listen to your podcast at, as well as ways to support the podcast through looking at our online shop or checking out our Patreon. And with all those words said, this will be another stupendous episode of the Project Manga Podcast. Wrapping up, I'm your host, Eagle.
Knox.
And I'm Nickums.
Sarabada.